Hello, it's been a little bit of a long time since I've done a little vlog like this, but I am at the NAVP Conference today, so I thought I would bring you along with me so that you can see sort of what the day is like when I'm doing my what we call CPD, so continued professional development. So it's just a lot of training basically, so it's a whole day's worth of training. So I'm at a hotel at the minute where the conference is being held. I've just come out for a little bit of a walk. It is 7 a.m, just gone 7 a.m, so I'm out for a little bit of a walk before the day starts, because they say, don't they, if you get outside you'll feel more awake. And I didn't get here until 8:15 last night after doing a full day of clients, so I'm a little bit tired this morning. So I thought if I get out and have a bit of a walk, then I'll feel a bit better. So I'm going to head back to the hotel now, have some breakfast, and then we start at 8:30. Managed to find a nice little park to walk around. Seen some swans, some ducks, some rabbits. Lovely. I'm really excited to bring you along with me so that you can see sort of what I get up to. But I won't be able to film during obviously any of the lectures because I'll be concentrating, taking notes. But I will do a little video after the conference to sort of fill you in on what I learned, and I'll also write a blog post about what I learned during the conference, so I will link that down below so that you can have a read of everything that I learned. I'll also insert a little bit of a video at the end of this day in the life so that you can learn about all the things I learned at the conference today. So I'm really excited about that. There's a couple of really good speakers, so it should be a good day. I've just got back to the hotel grounds now, and I actually feel quite awake now, which is good. So I'm going to head to the gym. We've got a gym in the leisure centre here, so I'm going to head to the gym, do a little bit in there, a bit of stretching and everything, because I know I'm going to spend the majority of the day sat down. So yeah, going to go and do a little bit of stretching and everything, then head back to my room and have breakfast. I'm not a huge breakfast person, so I haven't paid to have a breakfast. I've just brought some breakfast with me, so I'm going to go back to my room and have some breakfast, and then yeah, conference starts at 8:30. Morning walk. Check. Got some porridge for my breakfast, so whilst that heats up I'm going to go have a shower very quickly. It's now 8:15, so I finished at the gym and did some weights, did some stretching, a little bit of rowing to warm up. I have got my porridge on the go. When I jump in the shower, then we can get ready for the conference. Busy morning so far. It's going to be a good day. It's 8:30, so off I go. All dressed and ready, luckily, because we work with dogs. Be super formal or anything like that, so nice jeans and jumper, ready to go. Please ignore the mess in the background. And I'll check in with you later and let you know how we got on. So please excuse the terrible lighting. It is now getting dark outside. It's about 7:20. I've just got back from the conference. So it was a really good day. It was really interesting. Got to talk to lots of people, learned lots of new things. I'll pass you on to future me, who will have thought something coherent about the whole experience and will be able to fill you in on what I learned and all the interesting things, but that is not me right now. I'm going to chill and enjoy the rest of my evening. So hello future me, who will tell you all about it. Hello again. So as you can probably tell, I am now back home. I know this is just the next clip for you guys, but for me it's been a couple of weeks. I've had time to sit down and type through all of my notes for the conference, so if you keep seeing me look over here, it's because I have my laptop with the notes so that I don't miss anything, and that you've got all the information I promised that I would give you from the lectures. If you want to read the blog, I will link that down below so that you can have a little look through it at your own time. And if you have any questions about anything, just feel free to drop me a message. I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction or answer any of your questions. So let's jump right in. We started the day by looking at intra-articular injections, which are basically injections that go into your joints for dogs with arthritis. So arthritis is actually a lot more common than you'd think. We looked at some new research, and it actually showed that 40% of dogs under 4 already have arthritis on x-ray, which is quite bad really, isn't it? Because we always think of arthritis as being something that older people get or older dogs get, but actually it's just as common in younger dogs now, especially dogs that have other pathologies like elbow dysplasia and hip dysplasia. Those dogs are really do suffer with arthritis a lot more. Sorry if you can hear Jack's bed squeaking, he's moving around all over the place. But Jack also has arthritis, hence why he likes to get up and move around a little bit, because otherwise his joints get stiff. But yeah, so back to the joint injections. The reason that arthritis causes pain is because it alters the joint environment. So it alters the synovium, which is like the little joint capsule. If you give it a Google, you'll see some nice little diagrams. But it alters those joint capsules, so basically makes the joint environment really unhealthy, causes more cartilage to degrade, and it also creates pain. So in our dogs that have arthritis, the best things that we can do, the most effective things that they've found, is to make sure that they're a good body mass, so make sure that your dog isn't overweight, and also to make sure that their exercise is managed. So this is things like doing physio exercises to strengthen the muscles around the joints, make sure the joints keep moving, and also reducing high impact exercise, so like jumping on and off the sofa, hence why Jack's on his really squeaky bed. Keeping your dog on the lead a little bit more than you would maybe normally have done, that sort of thing, to help just mitigate any high impact activities. And they've also found that drugs like amantadine and non-steroidals can really help to reduce pain. But what else can we do for dogs with arthritis? We can do joint injections. So they're not really used that commonly at the minute in dogs in the UK. They're used a lot more commonly in horses and in people. But the main joint injections that we can give in dogs are steroids. This reduces joint pain and inflammation, but they can lead to more cartilage degradation and damage to that cartilage in the joints, and they become less effective over time. It takes about 3 days to see the effect of a steroid injection, but you have to inject every joint, obviously. So this is quite good for dogs that have big joints that are affected with arthritis, like a hip or a knee or something. It's not so good if your dog has multiple joints that would need injecting, because obviously that then becomes a lot more invasive, it's a lot more difficult. You can use local anaesthetics, but they also lead to a reduced cartilage. You can use protein-rich plasma, which is often given alongside stem cells. So these normally the protein-rich plasma normally lasts for 3 to 6 months, and it takes about 3 days to a week to see the effects. Your stem cells, on average, they say they're effective between 90 and 180 days, but they have done some studies in dogs with elbow dysplasia and found that they can be effective to up to 18 months. So I think that one unfortunately does really depend on the dog. That they did find that the dogs with elbow dysplasia needed to have the stem cells done before any sort of surgical interventions, so anything like going inside the joint that can actually damage the cartilage more. So they found that stem cells were more effective before anything like that had taken place. There is a new joint injection from America. We don't currently have it in the UK, but it sounds super interesting. It is called radiosinovirothesis, I think. I hope I've pronounced that right. It's written in the blog. As you can tell, my pronunciation of things isn't great. Like, I don't speak properly. So big words like that, I'm pretty sure I always pronounce them wrong. But that is used to improve the health of the joint and the health of the synovium, which we know is what's causing the pain. So they've been shown to be effective for up to 12 months, and they don't have any side effects or cartilage degradation, which is what makes them different from a lot of these other injectables, like our steroids, for example. They found that 92% of dogs with mild to moderate arthritis improved, and 75% of dogs with severe arthritis improved. So again, it's not just something that we can use in dogs that like, oh, they've only just got arthritis. Like, this can also be used in dogs that have severe arthritis, dogs that have had arthritis for a long time, more elderly dogs, etc. Because a lot of things like stem cells and protein-rich plasma are more effective at the early stages. Obviously, this is also more effective at the early stages, but still has a good effect in the later stages. But it can take 4 weeks to see an effect from that. So dogs that are eligible, as it were, for joint injections are dogs that have had pain scores when assessed by you and your vet of over 4 and have had a 10 to 15% reduced movement in the joint. So joint injections can't be used as preventatives apart from stem cell injections in dogs with elbow dysplasia. As I said earlier, those dogs with elbow dysplasia that are going to develop arthritis, we can use joint injections to help slow down that progression of arthritis. Another thing that was mentioned is the use of laser in those dogs with elbow dysplasia, because that has been seen to be effective at reducing lameness and reducing pain scores, and also to consider looking at shoulder tendinopathies. So issues with the shoulder tendons often occur at the same time as elbow dysplasia. So if your dog does have elbow dysplasia or you think they have a forelimb issue, it's worth getting both the shoulders and the elbows looked at. So once we'd finished looking at the joint injections, we had a lecture on elbow dysplasia, and then we also looked at common injuries of sporting and working dogs. So the two most common injuries, are gracilis contracture and lumbosacral issues, so issues at the bottom of the spine where it meets the pelvis. And we found that it was really interesting because both of these are progressive conditions, so they do get worse over time. And the only thing that they've really shown to slow the progression is Vet Physio, to help modify how the dog moves and try and keep them as comfortable as possible. But unfortunately, they are the leading cause for retirement in these sporting and working dogs because they do just get gradually worse over time. Then we had a really interesting lecture on what exercises to choose. So obviously, we're assessing dogs, we're having a look at what's wrong, we're treating them, and then we're giving you exercises to help support their at-home treatment and their at-home physio. So we had a lesson all about how we choose the best exercises. So we looked at different exercises and whether they focused mainly on range of motion or muscle mass and strength, whether they focused on flexors or extensor muscles. And then we also had a little look at some exercises that we don't use as commonly, just to see what they were effective for and whether we should be including them a little bit more. So that was really interesting, but unfortunately a lot of the exercises that we don't use very much because they require different equipment. So like stepping on and off of a table. Now, not many of us have a low table, like an old agility table that we can use. So I'm still in the process of having to think about how we can adapt these exercises to be a little bit more like at home friendly, so you don't have to spend lots of money buying different bits of equipment that then you've got to find somewhere to put them and you've got to find somewhere to store them. So I am trying to think of ways that we can do that out and about when we're on walks, that sort of thing, that's going to be a little bit more accessible for you guys. So I'll leave that there for now, and maybe in the future I'll write a blog specifically on that and do a little video. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in and I can look into doing that for you. And then to round off my little talk about the lectures that I think will be most interesting to you guys, we also had a look at cognitive, emotional and behavioural health, and we had a look at the Heath model. I will pop a link to a video all about the Heath model so that you can actually watch that, because this will be a lot better than me trying to explain it, but I will try my best to summarise quickly. So we had a look at how our dogs have a natural predisposition, like us, to be either more optimistic or more pessimistic, and how that affected how likely they are to do certain behaviours and how likely they are to show certain emotions, either positive or negative emotions. So positive emotions would be things like playing, and negative emotions, things like pain. So we had a look at those separately, and then we had a look at how they affect our dog's tolerance levels and their emotional capacity, and how that if we exceed our dog's emotional capacity, we're then sort of getting into a place where they become overwhelmed, and how we can prevent them being overwhelmed. So one of the best ways to prevent our dogs becoming overwhelmed and to increase their emotional capacity is to allow them to sleep for the required amount that they need. So dogs need 16 to 18 hours of sleep a day, which is a lot. So especially dogs that maybe you take them to the office with you, or you work from home and they're up and about a lot because, well, you've gone to the kitchen and are you going to go in the fridge, and dogs like that are always like on the go. We really need to make sure that we're giving them somewhere to rest that is quiet, that they will rest. Because it's not good for our dogs to be on the go all the time, because they do need a lot of sleep. And if our dogs have a lower emotional capacity and then get into a situation where they're feeling lots of emotions, they become overwhelmed. And if they become overwhelmed, just like us, it's really easy then to get frustrated. And that frustration in dogs manifests as increased speed and intensity of activities that they're doing, so whatever behaviour they're doing. So if you notice that in your dog, it's really good to give them some time to relax, because if we don't, that's when the dogs can become a little bit confrontational. So it's really important to learn your appeasement behaviours, your inhibition behaviours, which is like stopping and staring, and your avoidance behaviours like trying to walk away, that sort of thing, because those are all signals that our dogs are telling us, oh, we're getting a bit overwhelmed, we need a bit of space. But luckily for us, our dogs are super clever. Sorry, excuse me. Our dogs are super clever and they are really good at learning things. So we can use that to our advantage to help them learn positive associations so that they don't become as overwhelmed. And we can also use food to help us do that, because food is a social facilitator in dogs. So that's a very quick roundup of it. Please do watch the video if you want to know a little bit more, because I'm sure it is a lot better described than what I just did. But all in all, I had a really amazing day at the NAVP conference. It was really good. I'm going to end this vlog here because I feel like it's already gone on quite a while. My voice is getting a little bit hoarse. Clearly, I'm not used to speaking this much. But if you have any questions or any other videos you'd like to see, please do pop them in the comments, and I'd really love it if you would like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. All right, I'll see you again soon. Bye!